there, studios, OldClassicGamer here, and in this video I would like to talk about Konami situation a little bit because I think it's worth mentioning. And also share how I feel Konami can improve and gather some more audience and what they need to focus about. So we all know Kojima is going to leave Konami most likely after Metal Gear Solid 5, and to me these are very sad news. I'm not a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. Like, when I say I'm not huge, that doesn't mean I don't like the game, but it's just I never got into game that much, so I can't judge it. Therefore, when I say not a huge fan, doesn't mean that I think the game is not very good, but rather that I'm not very familiar with the franchise, so I can't judge it fairly. But based on what other people say, it seems like an amazing franchise and always gets a good reviews, has a lot of fans, so yeah. Ultimately, it's a very good game, and that fact cannot be denied. And it's rather sad that the creator will leave, but in the end, Metal Gear Solid 5 is clearly going to be the last game from the series ever made. So, yeah, I think there's nothing more to be done on the franchise, because the thing with story-driven games is that it's not good to milk the franchise too much, because with the games like Mario and the 3D platformers in general, you can always make a new sequel. You can always think of something simple like a story-wise and improve on the gameplay, like do some tweaks here and there like Mario games, and always make a sequel. But with a story-driven game like Metal Gear Solid, you can't always get another sequel after sequel and just continue. It's just the people are not going to receive that very well, and they're not going to like it, because it will feel rushed, and it would turn out just in the cash cow, just to get more money, and that's a bad thing when that happens. So, but still, Kojima is a very talented developer. He has his vision, and we can see in his games that he makes he is really experienced, and a person like him, even if he doesn't make more Metal Gear Solid games, shouldn't leave Konami. This can be compared to Keiji Inafune leaving Capcom, except that unlike Keiji, who is more like a businessman, Kojima is a real developer. He's way more experienced and has way more talent, and let's just say that Keiji gets too much credit for Mega Man. He wasn't even the original one who thought of the idea. I think he just designed him at some point, and he also designed Zero. But yes, he gets too much credit, and I'm sorry for all the Inafune fans, but it's just a fact. He gets way too much credit, and also Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter, we saw what is his true behavior. Like, he's way too much money hungry, and you can't deny it. Also the fact that he cancelled Kaio, King of Pirates for the 3DS. Like, fuck, why did you cancel that? Weren't you the one who were upset after Mega Man Legends 3 cancellation, and now you go and cancel your own game? Like, what the fuck? I mean, many people were waiting for that game, and it was always getting delayed, and now officially cancelled. More than $1 million was wasted on that game, so we can just see that he doesn't give a shit about money. He just like spending, then receive donations, then spending some more, and I don't like that. So, but the thing between it can be kind of compared, because Keiji was an important person in Capcom, and Kojima definitely at Konami. So both companies had someone important to them leave, and now also, the another parallel that can be made is the cancellation of Silent Hills with the cancellation of Legends 3, except that at least in Silent Hills situation there was a demo available on the PlayStation Store that people can download, and more than 1 million downloads happened, so you could see that many people were interested and they wanted to get the game when it comes out and buy it. So, but with the Legends 3, the prototype version that was promised never came. So this is a little better situation, but also sad because it was cancelled. And we can make another parallel here, like the game that was anticipated by the fans gets cancelled, but the company claims that the franchise will still go on, still happen. And the same thing happened with the Capcom. They say that the Mega Man games are still going to be made, but the funny thing is that no new Mega Man game was made after this. I mean, there was a fan game, a Mega Man, a Street Fighter Cross Mega Man, but that really doesn't count for me because I know that Capcom did promote the game, but they didn't make that, and it was like a free game, so it's not the same thing. It was made by fan, but there was no Mega Man game like on any home console after Legends 3 cancellation, and now I don't know. It's too early to speak, but with Silent Hill, it's probably going to be same. Like you get what I'm saying? They're probably not going to focus on this because if they plan to focus on the franchise, they wouldn't cancel this to begin with. So. Is Konami becoming another Capcom? I would say that they're on a very good road to become one. And I really don't know what's happening with these Japanese companies, why they handle the business so lousy. Like, the decisions they make, it makes no sense. I mean, I like Japan and Japanese culture and stuff like that, but Japanese companies and the people who handle them, like, I really don't understand the logic they go by. Like, you have a potential money-making machine out of the game and you cancel it. Makes no sense. So, now that this is cancelled, there are two ways Konami can redeem themselves. Issue an apology, beg Kojima to stay and uncancel the game. But if they don't really want to do that, there is another way they can, what they should do to attract more audience. They need to revive a franchise, Goemon. Like, honestly, Goemon was a very popular game in Japan in the 90s and yeah, especially the early 90s, like on the Super Nintendo. There were also some NES titles only released in Japan, but those were not that much recognized. The Super Nintendo title is what the Goemon was about. Like, it was so fun playing it. Like, it has a side-scrolling elements and like the overview elements, like the early Legend of Zelda games. It combined those way too cool. I mean, it was so awesome, and we haven't seen a new Goemon game in quite a while. Like, the last game ever made was in 2006 for like a Nintendo DS. Yes, it was for the DS. In 2012, a new Pachislot machine was made in Japan, but I really don't count that as a game. They just made that machine to extend the license, because we all know that if the company doesn't use their IP in any shape or form, they can lose that IP. The good example is Blinks, the Time Sweeper IP. Microsoft lost it in late 2014, I believe, because they haven't made a new game or even included Blinks anywhere. They could have literally just included Blinks in an Xbox commercial and just extend the license, but no, they didn't give a shit about him and they just let the license go away. Now they lost the trademark, and now pretty much everyone could make a Blinks game, but there's just no interest in it. So because the games didn't sell good, so no company is probably going to try to do that. Like, it's a shame because the Kickstarter for Blinks maybe could be a little bit successful, or at least get some money to a company. But oh well, we'll see in the future what happens. But back to Goemon, like, this is what I think Konami should do. They should first release Goemon games on a virtual console for the Wii U. Like, have all NES and the Super Nintendo Goemon games released, and then 64 as well. And then they should release on a Wii U disc an HD collection of Goemon games. Like, that would be so great. I have no idea why they haven't done this already. Like, we see all these HD collections, re-releases on a virtual console, but no Goemon game. There is only one Goemon game on virtual console, and that's some Game Boy Color, I believe, or a regular Game Boy, I'm not sure. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. It's on the. I saw it on the 3DS eShop, but come on, there are way more Goemon games out there. I think some of them are on a virtual console on the regular Wii, but it's Japan only. So Konami needs to make those games available for purchase worldwide on Wii U. Like, they'll make such a great comeback, and then HD collection, and then potentially new games. So Goemon franchise needs to be revived, and Konami really needs to think about it, because right now the direction they're going is horrible, and I hope they don't end up like Capcom. じゃあまたね。